Lane changes and merges are some of the most common driving practices you make during the course of your day. If not executed properly, they can potentially cause a devastating collision. It's important to use proper techniques each and every time you execute a lane change or merge into traffic. Lane change and merge collisions typically are the result of improper surveillance, miscalculating speed needed for safe clearance, following too closely and not giving yourself enough space to respond to hazards ahead and needing to make a sudden lane change, failure to use signals, and distractions. Improper surveillance. Before making a lane change, you must scan your surroundings. Maintaining 360 degrees of awareness helps to know where hazards may be located. Hazards could include a small passenger car that was just at the rear right-hand side of your trailer and is now hiding in your right front corner. Or did it pull ahead and is now in front of your truck? If you don't take the time to properly survey your surroundings, you risk not seeing a potential trouble spot in time. To maintain 360 degrees of awareness, check your mirrors every 5 to 8 seconds. There are built-in visibility challenges around your unit. When checking your mirrors before changing lanes or merging, you need to do more than just scan around your unit. Take a direct look before making a move. You need to lean forward and back, directly looking at, around, and behind the mirrors. If you see a potential problem, slightly decrease your speed while continuing to scan ahead and directly monitor your mirrors. You should make a calculated decision about your next maneuver. Continue to scan ahead and determine if you have enough space and time to safely complete your move. This is a technique that you must practice until it becomes second nature. When calculating your following distance and scanning ahead, pick a fixed object and count it out until you achieve optimal following distance and can accurately gauge scanning 15 seconds ahead. Practice this technique at different speeds until you can comfortably and accurately determine how far away you are from what's ahead of you. Don't forget to monitor what's going on directly in front of your vehicle. Good drivers will continually shift their focus back and forth, near and far. Once there's no conflict, safely change lanes or merge. Always be ready to abandon the maneuver if a motorist makes an unsafe move or conditions change. Miscalculating space needed for safe clearance. According to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, passenger car drivers made mistakes in the majority of fatal crashes involving large trucks. Never assume that other drivers are going to yield to you. Always operate your truck with the intention of preventing and avoiding a potential collision. You should yield space willingly and never compete for space. Don't tailgate or prevent other drivers from changing lanes or merging. Yielding space will go a long way in avoiding potential collisions. Distraction. When driving, it's important to remain focused on the task ahead of you, safely navigating from one destination to the next. To do this, you need to eliminate distractions. In-cab distractions can lead to unintentional lane departure, which can cause a side swipe or dropping a tire onto a soft shoulder. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 80% of crashes and 65% of near crashes occurred because the driver was distracted 3 seconds immediately before the accident. Distractions come in all forms, but some of the more common distractions you may experience include adjusting the radio or climate control, reading a map, picking up something that fell, or reading billboards. Before you get on the road, actively reduce distractions you may experience during the day. Plan your route. Adjust all your mirrors, and put away your cell phone. Remember, electronic devices such as cell phones and computers should never be used while driving. If you need to use your phone or operate the OBC, make sure you park in a safe and legal location before doing so. Following distance. Many sideswipe collisions occur because of not having enough room to stop or slow down, resulting in a sudden need to swerve. You should always avoid situations that may result in having to make a panicked maneuver, which are more likely to cause a preventable collision. While maintaining 360 degrees of awareness, it's essential that you continue to scan ahead and keep an adequate following distance appropriate for conditions. If you reduce your following distance and fail to scan 15 seconds ahead, you'll be unable to respond to changing hazards ahead. don't forget to monitor what's going on directly in front of your vehicle while continuing to scan ahead. Never make a sudden lane change your only out. It's a risky driving practice that often results in driving outside your lane into oncoming traffic, sideswiping another vehicle, clipping the vehicle ahead of you, or driving onto the shoulder of the road, which may result in a rollover collision. Best practices. Lane changes are inevitable. They must always be pre-planned and carried out with extreme caution. You should avoid changing lanes unless it's absolutely necessary. Oftentimes, it's better to adjust your speed and open up more space ahead to avoid changing lanes at all. Avoid lane changes close to entrance or exit ramps and intersections. As a reminder, it's illegal to make a lane change in an intersection. When approaching areas with reduced lanes such as construction zones or narrowing roadways, move into the necessary lane as early as possible. Watch out for vehicles trying to squeeze in at the last second, especially in your right front corner. Before making a left lane change, scan your surroundings for anything that may interfere. This could include a slow-moving vehicle ahead or a fast-approaching one from the rear. Assess the situation ahead, beside, and behind you. Move your head left and right, lean your body forward and back, checking all of the mirrors. Then, a direct look over the left fender, out the driver's window, and down to the left of the truck. Changing your angle of sight gives you a better overall picture of what's happening around your truck. Don't forget to monitor what's going on in front of you. If conditions change, you may need to abandon your move and wait. The American Transportation Research Institute reports that failure to use or improper use of a signal increased the likelihood of a driver having a crash by 96%. To minimize your chances of a potential collision, make sure you always use your signals. Once you've determined that you have the clearance and space to change lanes, go ahead and activate your signal. This will let other motorists know your intention to change lanes. Your turn signal should blink 3 to 5 times before starting your move. Remember, on right lane changes, you need to be especially vigilant and directly look in all your mirrors before changing lanes. The right front corner of the truck is a common place for a vehicle to be hiding and can easily result in the vehicle getting wrapped around and trapped in your fender. Cancel your signal once you have properly positioned your truck in the new lane. Never attempt a sudden lane change. If you see another vehicle about to occupy the same lane, always yield the right-of-way to prevent a collision. Throughout your day, you should be aware of what lane you need to be in. In some cities and states, it's illegal for a tractor-trailer to operate in the left lane. On and off ramps. Ramps, interchanges where highways meet, and temporary locations where one or more lanes come together are all considered merge points. These are places associated with sudden stops, rear-end collisions, and unprepared drivers. It's your responsibility to safely manage merge points in advance. This will help eliminate sudden panic maneuvers such as swerving, quick lane changes, and hard-braking events. Be cautious when approaching these areas. Drivers may accelerate quickly down the ramp and then suddenly stop, unable to merge over to the lane of travel. Or they may also go slowly down the ramp and then quickly accelerate, cutting you off. It's also common for drivers to speed ahead and attempt to pass you before their lane ends. This is especially common in construction zones. Drivers may also try passing you on ramps and shoulders at merge points. Always use the lane of least resistance. This should be the lane where you have the best visibility and the most space around the vehicle. Reducing lane changes decreases the risk of collision. We encourage drivers to always practice the following when approaching merge points, construction zones, and increased traffic areas. Use 15 seconds eye lead time, yield space to other motorists and maintain a safe space cushion, keep your eyes moving and look for merging traffic, maintain a non-competitive attitude, don't compete for space. Change lanes well in advance and pre-plan your route so you'll be aware of problem areas and give yourself extra travel time. If you're coming to a heavily populated area with excessive on and off ramps, it may make more sense to travel in the center lane and allow traffic to freely enter and exit the highway. Remember, always stay attentive to your driving environment and anticipate the actions of others. Yield space willingly. The road is no place for a competition. If you have any questions regarding the material in this video, please reach out to your JB Hunt representative.